So the lack of funding, is that disheartening for you as a coach, or is it something you come to expect?
Both. That's a double answer to a double question. It's disheartening as a coach because your junior football clubs, as a coach, you've got to go out and find your funding. You've got to go out and find. You've got to expect your parents to pay money, and it's good value for what they get. But you've got to provide all the equipment. You've got to provide venues, and venues are not cheap. My own club's just paid nearly best part £4,000 for the use of 3G for a short period of time. But it's been beneficial to us. So you've got that sort of side of it. We've got to fund kits. We've got 17 teams. We've got to find the money for 17 teams worth of kits, which means your coaches have got to go hunting for sponsors. Money's tight in this world, so it's disheartening the fact that you've got to go and try and put the begging bowl out. There is funding out there, but you've got to jump through hoops to get it. No one's going to give it you, which is a fair point because you don't know what it's going to be used for. Sorry, what's the second part of that question?
Second part was just, is it what you come to expect?
Oh, what come to expect, sorry. Yeah, it is what we come to expect. Don't expect a lot from the higher areas. I'd like to expect a bit more, but I don't. You just get into that routine of just we've got to go and get it. You've got to have a lot of dedicated coaches and a lot of dedicated volunteers to go out and source things. And again, we're in a world where this is what we are. We are volunteers. Majority of our volunteers. There's no one paid in grassroots football unless you are a professional coach, and you can achieve that. I do run a coaching business, and I do provide that on a private professional side of it. Do a lot of work with community social groups with adults. But when you're looking at the whole kids grassroots football, you just end up expecting that someone's going to dip their hand in a pocket somewhere down the line for you, and you're hoping you're going to get something out of it. We're lucky because we've got some great parents, but we're in an area that's a blue and white collar area. If you go into inner cities, you start seeing teams that are ragtag United they've got different kits on, different shorts, and they're struggling on. They're playing on pitches which are bogs. They're playing on with no nets. It is disheartening, but you've come to expect that sort of thing. There's no big money going to come into us. Grassroots football at that level. Now I know from a recent message I've received from our junior football league is we're just about to hit 10,000 kids in the Warrington, St Helens, Wigan, Widnes area. That's 10,000 is a lot of kids, and that's just one particular area in the northwest of England. You've got Liverpool, Manchester, you've got Lancashire, and that's just in the northwest. You've got South Cheshire. There's thousands and thousands of kids. If you multiply that 10,000 by whatever amount of areas in London, you're talking the best part of 1 million odd kids. And just playing at this level, not at academy level. So, what do we expect? Are we expecting people to fund that? Well, we're not going to expect it. It'd be nice. It'd be nice if that Premier League money came down to it, but we don't expect it.
Do you see Wembley Stadium as a source of national pride, or do you see it as something that could be sold to a businessman to help funding locally all around the country?
I saw the reports on Khan. The offer was 600 million. And the FA put out a poll or a questionnaire as to whether you're in agreement. And I was in agreement. Sell it. Sell it because the first instalment of the news that came out was saying grassroots football's going to get some of it. And then I looked at it further, and grassroots football was going to get very little out of it. It was going to be distributed not very well. So Wembley Stadium, whether it gets sold or not, it is a moot point for me. Would I like more money to come from grassroots from it? Yeah, but it's not going to. It's going to go to the FA and it's going to get distributed amongst other things other than other than grassroots football.
So my last question is, Gary Neville a few months ago made some comments that England suffers with a lack of quality coaches. Would you agree with that, or would you argue that there's no incentive for coaches to get to the top or become quality?
I agree with it to a degree. I agree with that to a degree. Gary Neville is talking, we're talking about a lot of people who are high profile people, and they are people talking about coaches, and specifically they're aiming their views at coaching the professional football level. Once you've got to even going down to your Salford cities, which obviously Neville's a massive part of, you're into the pyramid. Now, the lower down the pyramid you go, you're still sort of in a very competitive level. Once you go beyond that, you're scratching around then for coaches. Good quality coaches is, for argument's sake, the two guys that left Salford City last year got Salford City into the next league. Are they ever going to be professional managers? No, they're not. No, they're not. They're good coaches for that level, but they're never going to be professional. That's what Gary Neville's looking at. He's looking at saying we're not got enough coaches coming through because we aren't pushing the England-born players through. That's another argument in itself. Have we got enough coaches at the bottom end, and is the funding there for it? No, it's not. Again, I refer to my club. We've got 13 new coaches coming through. These are dads, mums, volunteers who come through. The coaching's got to be paid for. The coaching is level 1 badge, which is what is a requirement to be a coach, and that's the rightly so, because you've got to learn how to do it. Average 150 quid. So for the maths is simple. 13 times 150. It's expensive for a club of our stature to fund a couple of grand, and that's hard to come by. Again, you're asking the parents to do that. So the resources aren't there, in my view, for coaches to bring them through. They have made the coaching system a lot easier to do. Certainly to level 1 and level 2, it's a lot easier to access to do it, rather than the regimented viewpoint it used to be. It's a lot better to do it. The level 2 now is a lot different than it was 10 years ago, massively so. And the FA coaches, the FA tutors are good. There's ex-pros there, which is, I think, realistically something that should be more promoted in a wider capacity. There's some very, very good coaches out there. National coaches, I've got a great deal of time for, because they know what they're talking about. They're good coaches. But then as you go filter through, you then got to rely. You're left on your own. You're left on your own with your club saying, okay, there's your team. You're a coach. Coach them. There are CPD out there. There's CPD out there. You can go online to do all sorts of things, but there's no sort of second bit to it. There's mentoring. I'm an FA mentor. I can go around to look at our coaching out and have a word with them. But who's mentoring me? Who's helping me go through that? You can go up the next level to level 3. There's less level 3s to go around. What are they doing? They're the next on the chain. How are we promoting our kids? Where do we want our kids to go? What do we want our kids to do? Which ones are going to go into the next stage? So Gary Neville is referring to the pro side of it, but you've got to get the bottom end, the real bottom end coaches in, and the funding's a big problem for me. The funding, I've even heard of coaches going to Spain and Scotland and Ireland to get the badges, identical badges, because it's cheaper, and that's fundamentally flawed as far as I'm concerned. You've got to make the money, the fees less, to get the coaches in, to encourage more people coming in and go through it more. Then we can take the kids as far as they want to go. But what you do find, it is a dad inevitably. He stood there watching his kid at age of 5 and 6. He's watching someone coach the kids, and he's asked to volunteer, and that's what happens. He volunteers. He's no idea what he's getting into for the next 12 years of his life, but he volunteers because he loves it, because he's passionate. So he goes through a hell of a lot. He gets his level 1 badge. He enjoys it. He's focused on his team because his child is in that team, and he goes through 7s, under 8s, under 9s, all the way up as far as his child wants to go, and he's the coach. When he gets to 16, 17, the kid's generally given up because he's not going to be a professional. Some are lucky, but generally he's not going to be a professional, so he moves away from that. So that coach then has had 12 years, 10 years, whatever it is, of coaching, disappears, doesn't come back. You do get the odd one, like myself. There's another friend of mine. There's a few people I know who've gone through all the way through to under 18s, and their child's left the club, and then they come back down. That's why I've done through to under 18s. I'm now back up the stage to under 14s, bringing it through. But that's my passion. I will help coaches, but generally they're very, very few and far between. And that's where the loss is. We can get coaches through to a certain level, but they disappear because there's no interest anymore. What's the interest after that for a coach? So have we got enough quality coaches? What's Gary Neville talking about? Which area is he identifying? If he's identifying the grassroots football, then probably we've got coaches, we've got lots of volunteers who want to coach and people want to do it. Price does put them off. Are they quality? Probably not. They are left to their own devices and they're left to the clubs to help them out. And it's difficult for the clubs to do. It would be nice if we could have level 2 coaches everyone and have mentors and have CPDs and quite a lot of clubs probably do that. But your normal everyday coach is the guy who works in the office 9 to 5, comes home, throws his stuff in there, doesn't have his tea, throws his gear in the car, and he's at training session by 6:30. And for most of the afternoon, he's been thinking about what he's going to be doing. They are normal working people, men and women who do this volunteer job. Are they good enough to do it? What level are they coaching? What level do they want to coach? They're coaching the kids. If the kid's not interested, well, they're not interested. So what is Gary Neville talking about? And that has to be identified. Is he saying there's not enough quality coaches in the pyramid, in the academy pyramid? Some great coaches out there, some very good coaches, and the pros. Are they quality? What's he referring to? What's his benchmark on quality? Gareth Southgate was not realistically known as a fantastic coach. He's an England manager. He's a very good England manager. The England DNA setup is really good. Is he referring to the coaches at Man United? Look at the Premier League managers, coaches. There's very few English or British-based coaches. Is that what he's referring to? Is this a Premier League problem? Is this an FA problem? The FA put the levels on. You've got to have a badge to go down the licence route. If you want to become a pro licensed coach, you've got to go down the FA route to get those badges. So the FA doing enough to do it. He's got a point. He has got a point, but what area is he looking at? And there's more of a question there for me. It's identify where the lack of quality coaches are. What's his benchmark, and how do we achieve that from a grassroots level?